One thing that I've always found in particularly funny is people essentially trying to sue over the slightest things possible, right? I mean, suing over things that you don't even think you can sue for, because that is how buns the system is. And it is kind of ridiculous. So, one of these things is Moist Critical, or what is going on with Moist Critical. If you don't know what's going on with Moist Critical, basically a company is, or these people are trying to sue him because during the hurricane that was literally going to hit his house, he pulled up a news feed to essentially see what was going on. He had it up no less than like 30 seconds. It was probably maybe 20 seconds maximum, is what I should really say. And basically, they are sent him a lawsuit saying that he's copywriting it, saying that he's using it in multiple instances. And this is just like one example of someone kind of on an ego trip, you know, someone on a little bit of on too much of a rant with their brand, essentially. It makes absolutely zero sense in the slightest why like someone would try to sue him. I'm sorry, I thought I heard like an ice cream truck outside. That's why I removed the headphone. A little off topic, but yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like, how can you sue someone for pulling up a 10-second clip to make sure their house isn't going to get hit by a hurricane? Like, just absolutely ridiculous. And we've seen this a lot as well in brand names. Of course, we've seen things like Coke. Obviously, they have monopolized their their brand name, which is Coca Cola, right? Or Pepsi, or Liquid Death, and that's who we are going to be talking about today. Is Liquid Death? Liquid Death is basically a company who makes sparkling water. The water is insanely expensive, no matter if you like Liquid Death or dislike it. It is basically more expensive than regular water, but from my understanding, it is like very pure, very like spring water, and they have a lot of different like base sparkling flavors. So there's like the base one that's literally just water, and then they have a bunch of different ones that are flavored and are sparkling water. And Liquid Death basically wanted to uh, have that little bit of a monopoly, I guess you will say. Not really a monopoly, but just to secure their brand, make sure nobody else can use their brand. They wanted to make it where nobody can use basically Liquid Death as their brand, and nobody could use a. It's called Liquid Death Uchino. I'm not even joking, as basically a sub brand. And basically, what this sub brand would be is where they would release coffee flavors, essentially. So they would be able to release things like Hot Fudge Sundae, and a multitude of different flavors that would essentially cover kind of a coffee or a sweeter liquid death sparkling water, essentially. And a different company did not like this. So they are being sued by a company called Death Wish Coffee for doing damage to their brand, I guess. I have no clue. Like this is one of the most confusing things I've ever read, and we'll just read it a little bit so you guys get an idea. Death Death Wish brings this action to enjoy Liquid Death from confusing customers and trading on Death Wish's brand and goodwill by launching competing Death branded coffee beverages. Reads the lawsuit. So basically, to explain it in the most basic way, these guys are mad because Liquid Death, who has been out for years, is using the word death in their brand that they have rights over because the other company also has death in their name. And it's actually kind of funny because Liquid Death response to this is essentially, dude, nobody owns the word death. Like, yes, they have Liquid Death. They own the rights to that because that's their company name. But nobody owns an individual word. If you put liquid in something, they can't all of a sudden sue you. If you put death in something, they can't all of a sudden sue you. The only way you would be able to sue someone for this is if they use your exact marketing and basically exact brand that you're using. So if like Liquid Death released something that was called Death Wish, hot fudge sundae, then that'd be different because they're using their basically intellectual property to to basically promote it. I have never seen Death Wish coffee a day in my life. I just haven't. I've gone to hundreds of convenience stores. I've gone out of the country. I've gone to multiple different states in my lifetime, and not once have I ever seen Death Wish ever. And it might be weird, like why are you talking about basically probably a multi-billion-dollar companies? I just think it's funny. That's really about it. I just think that videos like this are funny to think about, because if you ever want to have like a good chuckle, a nice little laugh, go down the rabbit hole of the world's dumbest lawsuits, and you will be it's like one of the funniest things like you can honestly look up because there's ones that are worse than this, right? Like there's ones where people will try to sue because you like use their car in the background, or they'll try to sue you because I'm not saying Pepsi did this, but like some brands will do this. So they'll be like, "Oh, you had a can of Pepsi in your hand, and Pepsi's owned by us, so you're clearly trying to promote Pepsi in the wrong way." It's like that's how big of a reach it is. That's why you'll probably see so many content creators as well. They'll like cover brands and stuff like that because in the long run, not only does it promote the brand for free if a content creator is using it or whatever, but it also has that chance of them suing you if you do anything wrong, even if the lawsuit will eventually be thrown out. You still have to pay legal fees, even if the lawsuit will get thrown out at some point. You still have to pay for a lawyer and everything to go over the lawsuit and do all the shenanigans that happen with that. So, yeah, if you want to have a good laugh, let's look it up though. I think it'd be kind of funny. Uh, World's dumbest lawsuit. Let's see. World's dumbest lawsuit. There's no single world's. Surely, Michael Jordan. Alan Heckard sued Michael Jordan and Nike for 460 million, claiming he was constantly mistaken for the basketball star due to their similar shaped heads and single earrings. Heckard dropped the lawsuit within a settlement. What? So he's mad because he looks like Michael Jordan? Like how does that even work? And I'm assuming the settlement was just because Michael Jordan was probably like, dude, this guy's a bum. Like leave it alone, I guess. PETA sued a photographer on behalf of Maku Monkey, arguing that the monkey should hold the copyright to a selfie it took with the photographer's camera. Man, man, these are just the top layer. These are just the ones we know about. Weather prediction lawsuit. A woman sued a local weather station for $1,000, claiming she caught a cold because of an inaccurate weather prediction. Okay, I mean, it's dumb, but like at least that's something you could probably actually sue for. Seinfeld lawsuit. A woman sued McDonald's over a cup of hot coffee, claiming she suffered third-degree burns while often cited the frivolous. The case was a genuine personal injury claim where the woman was awarded a substantial settlement after McDonald's refused to settle before the lawsuit. And I think that's the biggest issue that one of the U.S. has. I don't know how other countries work in general when it comes to like lawsuits and stuff like that, but the U.S. in particular, like you can basically just sue for anything. You can sue for any intellectual property. You can get cease and desist. Like technically, for the articles that I'm using, if the creator of these articles ever wanted to, he could literally send a cease and desist letter to me, and he'd be completely in his legal rights to. Not saying he wants to. Thank you so much, creator of these articles. To Dextero, appreciate it. You're the G for putting these together and finding the information. But yeah, like it's just ridiculous what you can do in the U.S. sometimes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Look at this some wacky lawsuits if you have some free time. You might have a good laugh at it. Might cheer you up a little bit if you're having a bad day. But have a wonderful night, everybody. Peace.